Okay, so 50 Cent just reignited a massive discussion about why Snoop Dogg seemed to vanish the moment Diddy. The Reckoning hit Netflix, and the timing has fans seriously questioning what's going on behind the scenes. What I found while looking into this is far more shocking than anyone expected, with some online voices suggesting Snoop's connection to Diddy might run deeper than it ever appeared, and honestly, you weren't wrong to notice his sudden silence. No Instagram posts, no tweets, nothing at all, which is unusual for someone who's usually everywhere on social media, especially as the documentary quickly became the #1 show in both the US and the UK. In this video, we'll break down why Snoop may have stepped back as the conversation around Diddy exploded, review claims from people who say they witnessed questionable moments within Diddy's circle, revisit old photos and interviews that take on a new meaning in hindsight, and explore the resurfaced story involving Kim Porter that has fans stunned, so stick around until the end because the last piece of this puzzle is the one that has everyone questioning what they thought they knew about these legendary figures. And before we dive deep, it's important to remember just how close Snoop and Diddy really were, because this wasn't just a casual friendship. It was a long history that changes the entire perspective.
Reckoning, Sean Combs' The Reckoning being not only #1 in the US, but now #1 in the UK. And he posted some flowers, and y'all know 50 love being funny.
When 50 Cent's documentary dropped, it instantly became the hottest thing on Netflix, sparking conversations everywhere about Diddy's alleged actions, with victims sharing their stories, the infamous parties being exposed, and basically everything about Diddy laid bare. It's intense, seriously intense. But here's the weird part. While everyone else was posting reactions, sharing opinions, and debating online, Snoop Dogg stayed completely silent. Not a word, not a comment, nothing at all. And for someone who usually weighs in on almost everything happening in hip-hop, that radio silence is, well, very strange.
Look, happy to have you back, my man.
Man, I ain't went nowhere. I'm closer than you think.
Yeah, man, I had to run it back. I mean, the people rock with you, so, it was only right, man. So I gotta ask you, because over the years, man, there's been a lot of confusion. When Tupac got shot in Vegas, was Snoop at the hospital?
So, Snoop didn't go nowhere near the hospital. So when it happened, as you know, for some strange reason, but now we know the real reason, Snoop did not attend the fight with us or the club, the after party at Club 662. And it was so crazy about that, we thought it was strange that he wasn't there. This is the first one he did attend. And according to Warren G and everybody else, now we know why he didn't. But to get straight to the point was this. I was at my house in Vegas, and I started calling Snoop, telling him, hey, what's up? Like it's something wrong with this situation. Pac in the hospital, come holler at him, come check on him. So he drove down, and I was at the house waiting on him. And Tupac's mother was at my house.
Snoop has actually gone on television before and openly talked about how close his family was to Diddy's, explaining that their sons have been best friends since they were around 6 years old, that their families were deeply connected, and that Kim Porter, Diddy's late ex, used to bring the kids together for playdates, even pointing out how their lives seemed to move in parallel, from both sons attending UCLA to both getting into rap around the same time. So when you hear that level of closeness, it naturally raises a question. When someone you're that connected to becomes the center of serious allegations and your response is to completely disappear from public view, what does that say? Because wouldn't most people feel compelled to say something, anything, to distance themselves or clarify their position? And to be clear, this isn't an accusation, it's about patterns that people are noticing and struggling to understand, especially as online discussions bring up allegations involving so-called freak-off parties, claims of inappropriate behavior, and even darker rumors that some say place multiple industry figures in uncomfortable proximity to alleged misconduct, which is why this conversation gets heavy fast. So if you're not ready for uncomfortable questions, this might be where you click away. But if you want to understand why people are revisiting Snoop's past behavior and public moments with fresh eyes, then we need to look at those patterns, because once you notice them, it becomes hard to ignore them.
You tell me if this sounds innocent.
No, and Death Row, y'all don't love us. Y'all don't love us.
All on the record. Come to Death Row.
But I was like, damn, we on the same record label. I know these people are really thinking like we are like the West Coast. We got beef with the people we got beef with. We could go anywhere in the country because we are America's most wanted.
Remember that moment when Diddy went on television and said, "When I die, I want my last words to be, I did it." Go back and watch Snoop's reaction in that clip because his expression is people talking now. There's this brief, awkward smile that many viewers are reinterpreting, almost as if he understood exactly what Diddy meant, and as people rewatch the footage today, they're saying it feels less like a joke and more like a shared understanding, the kind that only makes sense to those in the room, which is why some are calling it unsettling, even creepy, like watching a private moment between two people who know more than they're letting on. And the unsettling part is that, according to those revisiting these old clips, this is just the beginning, because what comes next makes that moment look mild in comparison.
Hold it up a little bit more. Let me see how that. Oh yeah, dang.
You know what I'm saying? We don't hold it out man hand. We shake it and get it back in our pocket.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got Diddy and Neo, and if you heard Neo's wife call him Little Diddy, that he like freak off, get high and get freak off. They all baby roll you up.
Oh man, what the hell is that?
You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? Eyes
Not him
wide.
and his son. That's his son, right?
Suge Knight, who is currently serving a life sentence, has recently made claims that people are now re-examining closely, especially regarding the night Tupac was shot in Las Vegas, alleging that Snoop was originally supposed to attend the Mike Tyson fight with them that night, that the tickets were secured and plans were made, but that Snoop suddenly didn't show up. No fight, no club afterward, nothing. Something Suge says had never happened before, which immediately raises eyebrows given what followed, because after Tupac was shot and lay in the hospital fighting for his life, Suge claims Snoop still didn't come to see him, despite repeated calls urging him to check on Pac. And when Snoop eventually arrived at Suge's house in Vegas, Tupac's mother was already there, distressed and waiting, and according to Suge, Snoop told them Tupac was angry with him before breaking down, crying and even becoming physically sick, a reaction that some viewers interpret as extreme and unsettling. Though interpretations vary, and then things take an even stranger turn with claims from Warren G., who is related to Snoop, stating that Snoop was at his house that night watching the fight and allegedly had a walkie-talkie with him, which Suge described as a special security-style radio said to work over long distances and typically used by event security teams, leading people to ask why Snoop would have such a device at home and whether he could allegedly hear what was happening in Vegas in real time, especially since witnesses have claimed they heard someone say "got him" over a radio after the shooting. And again, these are allegations and interpretations, not conclusions. But when people connect these dots, many are left asking whether this really sounds like the behavior of someone completely removed from what happened that night.
Also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes.
Yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
this
I can't explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr.
And it's not just Suge making waves. Fans and analysts have been digging through old 1990s interviews and footage, watching Snoop's body language whenever he was around Tupac, and many are noticing patterns that raise questions. The nervous gestures, the way he often positioned himself closer to Diddy's associates than to death row's people during the height of the East Coast-West Coast tensions, and how observers at the time were already whispering that Snoop might have betrayed Tupac. Though, few wanted to believe it because he always came across as calm and laid back. Now, looking back, these small signs that were dismissed as casual demeanor or cool composure seem more significant. And as we dig deeper, the story only gets more disturbing, so buckle up, because this next part takes things to a whole new level.
Dude is a demon, bro. Dude is a demon. That dude was possessed with some kind of demon, man. He's possessed with some kind of demon. Wanna be in this all this red, this dark rooms with the music blasting. It had to be a certain temperature, a certain type of music for the vibration they was saying. Come on, bro. And I don't care what nobody say, man. And like, when people still talking, keep on talking, if that priest ever come out and he talking, if people keep talking, you'll find out that a lot of shit that Gene Deal has said has been the truth.
and nothing but the truth. I was there.
Recently, music industry veteran Courtney Burgess claimed he has Kim Porter's alleged real memoir, supposedly containing photos and evidence about Diddy and Snoop Dogg, sparking wild discussion online. According to these allegations, Porter documented events and interactions between celebrities in ways that some observers find questionable. And before her sudden death in 2018, she allegedly gave this material to a trusted source, while multiple former insiders, including Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, have described dark parties, unusual rituals, and suspicious industry practices in interviews, suggesting Snoop may have been present or involved. And activist Ally Carter has also long spoken out about alleged misconduct involving both Diddy and Snoop, claims largely dismissed at the time but now gaining renewed attention, leading to speculation about patterns of secrecy, strategic public appearances, and image management. Federal investigators reportedly seized computers, hard drives, and flash drives from Diddy's properties, and some sources say Snoop's name appears in sealed testimony, while observers note his absence during key events, inconsistent statements about Tupac-related incidents, and sudden wholesome media appearances, all of which fuel questions about his involvement, loyalty, and public persona. Though nothing has been proven in court, and with more witnesses reportedly coming forward and the investigation ongoing, the controversy continues to unfold, leaving fans and the public debating what may have actually happened, how to interpret these claims, and what accountability should look like in the music industry.
Knew that Snoop Dogg, not again, mentioned him in December of 2020, but everybody beat the hell out of me. Screw you, that can't be true. What the hell do I know, right? And then recently it just came out again that Snoop Dogg got accused of trafficking children. And what did everybody do? Oh, Snoop Dogg is at the halftime. I'm going to the halftime.